Giving us your very valuable and expert insights and sharing your, very seasoned experiences in the industry. I think it's really, really valuable.
Thanks, Stella and Daniel, for choosing to be very compassionate humans, both in the way you treat, how you reorganize your properties, and the way you look at people. I think that sincerity comes across, and I think the world could do more of this.
Every single day, minds are powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. I put my armor on, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a pusher with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. Minds are powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today.
If you're looking for a mentor in your life, you want to find someone that have actually done the job and walked the talk. So Stella and Daniel are the person that you may be looking for. They are the person that you can trust and walk along the journey with. And if you happen to bump into a program that they are willing to mentor you, do take it up, because it's an opportunity that might just change your life. That's just once in your lifetime.
I think most of all, I think I benefited from Stella and Daniel's advice on what should I look out for in the next property. I must say that they are the one that pushes me to do things, because I tend to didn't want to make the decision, and I tend to take my time as well. So I think just this weekend, I'm in the midst of purchasing one, which they are pushing me every day in the group chat to get me to do certain thing. Yeah, so I must say that, yeah, I benefited from a lot from them.
Having learned of this PWL, I think I will actually increase my wealth for myself and also my customers.
Every single game, I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play.
I am part of a strong community which who supports one another, and I have the backup of the decades of experience that Stella and Daniel has accumulated. So this really puts us in good stead to achieve our long-term investing goals in the areas of real estate, and also help us in our personal development journey.
And kudos to them for sharing their knowledge with us, and also for their humility and their willingness to actually build a community around doing this together in terms of identification of properties and growing each other's wealth.
Able to explain from a very layman terms, which helps a lot in coming to this course. If you go for someone which is very professional, some of the lingo you do not understand. At least they come from a very layman term. They explain to you, and then you can understand clearly.
Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable.
I'm glad that I have you two to hold my hands in my property investing journey, and I know that I have the right mentor to guide me along.
I'm unstoppable today.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Today is a Wednesday evening. Yeah, welcome to our webinar workshop this evening. And before I begin, I want to acknowledge each and every one of you for being here. This is really something I don't take lightly, and I'll do all in my power to make it well worth your time. How many of you agree that time is such an important resources now, given that you have all your busy schedule these days? Yeah. Anyway, just to let you know, the chat is open. So this is what's going to happen. You want to be committed here because it's going to be your time. Yeah, it is not me talking here. I'd love for you guys to, join in and stay committed to this about 90-minute session. Because I want to make sure that this is an event, perhaps when you look back in a couple of months or years, and you're going to say that this event is the pivotal moment of your life that changes how you invest in real estate. Okay, so you want to join in. So one thing is the chat is open. Any questions, any comments, go ahead, participate. Okay, number 2 is participate, so that I'm not the only one talking. You want to ask questions okay, go ahead. And importantly, remove your distractions. If you have your mobile phone on, your Netflix on, yeah, you want to focus here. Because in this workshop, you're going to discover how to invest in residential property with en bloc potential. Yeah, with en bloc potential. Sounds like a crazy thing, right? But anyway, I will break it down for you guys without crazy money down. All right. So this is a proven formula that has been used by many people, my clients, myself, that has generated us over hundreds of millions of dollars in profits without crazy capital. And this is where I'm going to dissect it for you. And I'm not coming from theory. I'm someone in the industry, probably in the market, for over 30 years. I've served clients like Capital Land, Far East Organization, Guaco Land, MCL, all the major developers in Singapore. And you'll be wondering, what has it got to do with you, right? So because I have served them for the last 30 years, I'm going to break it down and show you exactly what it is that they look out for to increase valuation of property. Yeah, and how to identify and close that deal. So even for a person like you and I, we'll be able to do it, what all these developers do when it comes to market opportunity. So let's take a look at some of the things that I've done over the years. So this is a cinema building that I've done in 2020. During the pandemic, when the market was so-called down and things like that, I sold this building. So I like you guys to participate. Have a guess of how much was it sold for, roughly. so that you can understand the market and put a context to all the things that you're going to discover this evening. So guess, how much do you think it was sold? It's about, I give you some numbers to actually think about. It's about 20,000 square feet, thereabout. Thereabout. How much do you think it was sold? Make your guesses. Put in the chat. Any number there's no penalty for wrong answers. Yeah, just go ahead and put any number. Will it be 30 to 40 million? Good guess. Anyone else? Any other guess? Just any numbers. Yeah, you want to have a sensing of the market. I'm getting you involved in this workshop so that you have a sensing of what's going on in the market. Okay, so let me drum roll. Okay, to disclose. This was actually sold at 32.3 million. Let me give you a story about this. The buyer was looking for a property that can hold, can actually for their own use. And they were actually looking for industrial building. But typically industrial building in Singapore is 30 years leasehold or 60 years leasehold, thereabouts. Whereas this is a 99 years commercial land, HDB land. So which means that it has a longer term tenure. So on a per square feet basis, it makes better sense to invest in that dollar into a commercial with a longer lease. And as part of doing this deal, who won? Who do you think won in this deal? Who do you think will win in all these transactions? What do you think? Who will win in such a transaction? Everybody won. The seller, the buyer, and of course the consultant who's facilitating it. So yeah, exactly, all parties. So whether you're starting out, how many of you are starting out in your property investment journey? Type in number 1. Okay, type in number 1. Let me know where you are so that I can go at the pace of consumption. So what does it mean for you? It's going to mean that even if you're just starting out, you're going to understand what's required, whether it's a 1 million or a $32 million deal, how to make good profits by identifying, negotiating, and closing such profitable deals. Yes, agree? Yeah. So I know there's a second group of people who are potentially looking to grow your portfolio. So you're already invested in the market. Type in number 2 if you happen to be number 2. Come on. Yeah, there's quite a number of you, Audrey, Chun, Sylvia, Joyce. Go ahead, type in whether you're 1 or 2. Okay. So for the number 2, that means an investor, I'm going to show you some of the things that I look out for to create good cash flows, good streams of income, so that you can grow your portfolio. So you see a deal like that, right? You can create wealth by buying the property. So for example, how many of you are entrepreneurs here? You can also go ahead and tell me if you're an entrepreneur, okay? Don't be shy. I know a lot of you are shy. So if you are an entrepreneur and you have a business, what it means that you can buy in the form of personal investment and you can rent it out to your company. And which means that will add on to your personal wealth in terms of cash flow. So this is how powerful it can be if you are collaborating in terms of through investing through an enterprise. What if you can even potentially collaborate with a group of people and invest in a property like this? How many of you will be interested if you can collaborate with a group of people so that, if it's a like-minded community, people who wants to be in this real estate industry, working on your roadmap of investment so that you can create more wealth, okay, along the journey. How many of you would be interested to collaborate with your friends, a community here that are like-minded? And of course, because of ABSD, some of you are saying, hey, it's going to be very costly to buy another residential property. How about we learn and figure out what's the highest and best use for different types of property so that you can perhaps, instead of buying that residential property, look at opportunities like this, which is commercial. So I want you guys to make a guess. What was this building built into eventually? If you stay in Bedok, probably you know. What do you think it was built in? Any guess? What do you think it was built into, a building? New building. Come on. Join in, have fun. Retail. Yeah, commonly in the town council, you will see some of these old cinemas being converted to retail. In this case, this building was built into, it's a very good one because it's potentially a retail, potentially an office, but it was actually a church before. It was a football club. And this buyer bought it. They have products. So they have a showroom for their product. At the same time, it's their office, back-end office, and there's an auditorium inside where they can host events on their own. Yeah, because they sell products, so they host events. So how many of you really seriously want to be in a community whereby you can collaborate with the people, as a huge group, in such a property? Yeah, how many of you want that potentially? Okay, but it is also having that skill set to identify, negotiate such opportunities that makes a difference. How many of you want that also? The ability to identify, negotiate, and close. In fact, one of my students right now, as of today, he found a commercial property. That one is a single unit. It's not a building like that. It's a probably 1,200 square feet of commercial within a so-called looks like residential, and that's like, wow, he's going to save on ABSD. Yeah, so you want to know how to identify such properties that you can save on ABSD. So this is 336 River Valley. Is another special deal. Okay, actually it was potentially an en bloc deal, which turns out to be a bulk sale deal. So what happened? Okay, let me share with you the story. For this group of owners, they always wanted to do en bloc sales. The land sits on a 2.8 block ratio, so it's unblockable. Based on numbers you calculate, it makes sense. However, they approach me every quarter and ask me, Stella, let's have coffee, let's try to put this out in the market. And then what happened was, when finally in 2017 during October, November, I say, okay, let's get ready because I think the market would be there. And we approached the commercial owners. So for a mixed development like that, you need 80% on share value and 80% on floor area to agree to the sale, to partake as an en bloc sale. Why? Because the residential will own substantial floor area. And the commercial actually holds higher share value. So you need both sides to agree. And unfortunately, the commercial units, they were not interested. They say, this is my back-end office. I want to keep it for use. We shifted our back-end office here. Our finance, HR, whatever, property management, whatsoever are here. So we're not going to shift. So which means, like what many of you are worried is, what if I buy for en bloc and it's not en blockable? What happens? So this was exactly one of such property, because majority on share value were not interested. And which means that they'll be stuck forever, right? Because you're competing with a corporate. So what happened was, what I did was, I actually got all the 28 units and we did a very special deal. We put it out in the market as a bulk sale deal. So what it means is we can potentially sell to one single buyer who can, at that time, there was no co-living, no co-working whatsoever, but could be done as co-living, like rental of units, keep for own use, rental of rooms whatsoever. Okay, anyway, rental rooms already existed for the longest time before co-living existed. In the term labeled co-living existed. So what happened was, in the end, we got all 28 owners to come together to discuss on the sale, a joint sale together. Human psychology. By the time we got down to the agreement, 22 units instructed me to do the deal. That means do the collective sale, bulk sale deal, put it out on the market. So I put it out on the market. 6 units say, wait and see. They're interested, but they're not willing to pen down their signature. So what happened was, at the close of tender, I actually had 2 offers. One offer was for 22 units. Very good offer, above reserve price. Another offer was for all 28 units at an even higher price. So if you are one of the owners there, you can sell all 22 units at a very good price, or you can sell 28 units altogether, if with an even higher price to each owner. So each owner walks away with at least $500,000 more. So would you go for option 1, sell 22, or option 2, sell 28? Let me know you're 1 or 22, because there's nothing wrong. You can have your choice. Do you want to quickly exit with 22 units? Okay, I have 2 there. Any one of you got any idea? You will go for 2 or 1? Okay. What happened was, eventually you can see 28 units sold. And actually what was interesting was on 4th of July that year, 2018, we signed an agreement. The owners were still like, oh, should we wait or should we not wait? I said, just go in case there's another cooling measure. And guess what? On 5th of July, there was really a cooling measure. And what it means for the owners is they have a clause in the agreement to say that they need to complete all at the same time, including the last unit, 28 units. We only have 27 units signed on the agreement because the 28 units have technical issues. And what it means for the new buyer is they have to pay ABSD for all 27 units. Doesn't make sense, right? Because it's going to cost them a couple of $1,000,000. So that night, we actually went in, because before 12 midnight, we needed to settle the case. We went in to get everyone to remove the clause that says subject to the last unit completing together, so that they can take money faster. In fact, it turns out to be a blessing in disguise, because they could complete in 3 months, and most of them took the money, go to something else, and make money again. So this is the power of, doing such deals where you exit with the intrinsic value of the property, and then you can re-enter into the market, keep some profits, re-enter the market, and continue the journey. So then this is Katong Mall, and this is also one of those really, really good deals. Like this one, yeah, it was sold for $290 million. So you guys are going to say, hey, what has it got to do with me, right? Yeah. How many of you don't have 290 million? Raise your hands if you don't have 290 millions. Yeah, me. I raise my hands because I don't have 290 millions. But this is where it's powerful, when you can do things with a group of owners together to do this. Yeah. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this webinar, because I know that in order to make good money in the market is the ability to create spot and close deals like this. And because this is what I've been doing all the time, whether professionally over 30 years or in my own private journey, okay, private investing journey, I'm going to break it down so that you can model what I do and do it for yourself. So, and in order to get a deal like this, right, there needs to be a group of people who pull together to join efforts together so that you can take profits at the end. So if you're qualified at the end, you're going to get an invite, and I'm going to show you how it works, all right? So then there's such a deal like Paramount Hotel and Shopping Center. It was sold for 240 million. It's also sold by myself. And this is another type of en bloc that's potential. For some of you, type 2 cannot buy residential. This is commercial, okay? Commercial with hotel. So the hotel was very interested to sell. They own more than 80%, of course, in terms of share value. And then the commercial owns 80%, like just now the case, right? So what it means is for you, if you are one of the many commercial owners, okay, you could be only investing in 400,000, 500,000, 900,000 for that commercial unit. But when you exit, you're actually taking the intrinsic value as together with all the owners out there. So this is one of those property, okay, whereby actually Paramount Hotel wanted to buy it. After we put out in the market, we put out for sale, the public tender, the offer that came in was too good to reject. In the end, they sold it instead. So then, okay, I'm going to show you some of all these potential ones that you can, work in the community to get in. So this is one Finlayson Green. It's the old AIA tower at CBD. So this is also a strategy. So understanding strategy is another way of marketing what you have in your portfolio. So this one, we managed to actually achieve a higher per square feet of 2520 because we're able to reposition it, restructure and reposition the property so that for the same building, we're actually achieving higher per square feet. And that is what can happen if you're in a group, you're with a group of people who own such assets, and you know what is the highest and best use, and you break it down and increase the value, increase the valuation. Yeah, that's when you can get higher value. So by the end of this workshop, you're going to discover 3 secrets. How to find that one en bloc property, which is a gold mine property in Singapore, and why they are the gold mine property, and how to identify, negotiate, and close these properties that perhaps the developer don't want you to know. And secret number 2, how to restructure, reposition the property to earn positive cash flow, even paying for installment while we wait for this golden egg to hatch. And also what the ultra wealthy does to multiply and maximize rental units without having to pay additional buyer stamp duty, utilizing our proven replicable strategies. So tonight is about having a strategy which is out of the red ocean. You know, everybody's saying buy resale, buy new launch, that build passive income. This is a category that is little known secret that I'm going to share this evening. Okay, so that you know, okay, perhaps this is something that you can look at. Because what I'm saying is whether you can be, you know, if you are in any form, involved in all those deals that I mentioned, in any forms, shapes, yeah, you can actually be a winner. So this is why, you know, you want to be part of this, even if you're starting out, or even if you already are in the investment journey, you want to figure out how then can I now identify, negotiate, and close such properties that increase my chance of making more upside. Okay. So the thing is, you don't want to wait until the day you have money. Okay. Because it will be too late. Chances are we graduate from school, we have our but you know, we work and we wanted to build the first set of cash before you can actually upgrade, right? So unfortunately, the truth is you don't want to wait until you have money, then you do it, because it'll be too late. Age is not on your side. Leverage is not on your side. Because by the time you know, you're going to have the money, probably you're going to lose out in many ways. So that's the irony of things, right? So you're going to start learning how to have this skill set first, so that you can have the income. So how many of you agree that, you know, you have your job because of your skill set? So one of the things that I ran through just now was that to show you that besides residential, en bloc happens for other types of property. And now with ABSD, if you can't buy residential properties, this is when you can potentially look at other types of property to grow your portfolio. Okay. So my goal for you for this training is to figure out how to exponentially grow your wealth by identifying, negotiating, and closing residential property with 30% upside or more. Okay. So that you're assured from the day you buy it, you're on an upside journey. Okay. Number 2, you want to figure this out by following people who have done it before, following the proven method rather than, you know, guessing it out your way. All right. So whether you are a new investor who has never invested in residential or commercial properties or property per se, or you are someone who's already in that journey, this is for you. Because I'm going to run through some problems that some of you may have. Be honest with yourself. Where are you? Where are you in terms of this? So you're going to say, okay, put down in the chat which one is you. Number 1, I don't know how to get started. This is for those of you who are new. You don't know how to get started. You don't have the knowledge. Okay. Number 2, you say I don't have the money. I cannot afford it. Or number 3, I say I have very little cash. Okay. Whether you're just starting out or you're already in the investment journey, you have very little cash. Number 4, you don't know how to leverage. And number 5, you're looking to increase your property portfolio without having to pay ABSD. You have a problem because you have to pay ABSD. So which of you, key in number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is your main problem now? Yeah, I have one, number 5. Anyone else? Yeah, I think some of you are on Q&A the other side. Okay, let me check. Commonly, okay, I'm seeing that commonly people have 2, 3, even 4 mixture, right? Yeah, just put in yours per se. Okay. So whether you're new, you're going to figure out how to buy your first property by understanding how to enter the market to buy residential properties or other types of property with upside. Okay, so if you're newbie, this is where you want to be staying here. And for those of you who are seasoned investor and you're looking to grow your portfolio that generate cash and create generation wealth for your legacy planning. I have a student who came to the master class, and then he is actually a seasoned investor. Actually, he's not the only one. There are quite a few of them. After I go through their portfolio, they discover that, hey, they thought the two golden eggs they have, because husband and wife might each have one, they thought both they'll make good money. Unfortunately, after we dissect the two properties, he realized that he has two rotten eggs in his basket. So what happened was he decided to exit one because, seller stamp duty is over, so he exited. In fact, that property, when he exited, the valuation was 900,000. But because of the ability to negotiate and close, okay, negotiate and close also works for selling a property. Because of the ability to negotiate and close, I actually advised him, and in the end, he closed at 1.15 million. 200,000 above the valuation, which is his target price. He successfully closed that. And so with that earnings and extra money, he just identified another property and he entered this year. Okay, a couple of months ago, he bought something for matrimonial home, which has a potential upside of more than 40%. So these are the strategies that you're going to discover along the journey. Okay, and so if you are looking into, and of course, the other property that he had, he's just waiting for one more year to reduce his SSD, which is this year, so that he can exit and then use the money to buy something else. So if you stay until the end, I have a bribe for you. So this is the en bloc potential guide and process. This will be reviewed at the last slide of the presentation. So this is a very little known secret that I want to break it down to let you know that it's not complicated, it's simple, and it's doable. All right. So let's get going. Okay, this is the property market. Let's look at prices of similar cities. Okay, I want you guys to see what do they have in common. This is Hong Kong. Okay, you can see it's Hong Kong. And then we have London, key cities, London. From 1970s to about 2020s. Both all the graphs are there about. And then we have New York. Okay. What do you see in common? What do they have in common? And finally, Singapore. What do you think they have in common? All the graph, what do they have in common? Over a 20, 30 years period. Yeah? Upside? Yeah? Price go higher. Yes, even when it dips, it went higher and higher and higher. Why? Yeah, basically, in these highly congested, limited land areas, price of properties go up, increases over a long-term period. Why? Why so? Why do you think the price goes up? Because we haven't figured out how to manufacture land, right? Scarcity. Yeah, and you probably heard of it before. It combats inflation, it withstands downturn, and the truth is, how does it go up all the way? Okay, a very simple thing, huh? But then this is what people fail to realize. Is the fact that when costs increase, property price increases because property price is made up of land, construction, labor, and when all of these costs goes up, property price has to go up. So you can't go wrong with property investment. That is why majority of the wealthiest people in the world are into property. So when it comes to property, there are only two ways. You either go for the capital gains, which is of course inflation, cost increase, stack up all the price, plus speculation, whatsoever, plus good, you know, good areas, growth. So you have the capital gains. Okay, of course, the other one is cash flow. So whether it's cash flow or whether it is capital gains, it depends on individual. Yeah, some people go for the cash flow, some people go for the capital gains. I'm going to show you how to have the best of both worlds. Okay, so that you not only have the capital gains and you have the intrinsic value on the property as well as the cash flow. Okay, so before, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Stella Ho. I've actually close to 30 years of experience in real estate. Yeah, and I specialize in en bloc sales. Yeah, and investment grades. So like Dragon mentioned, 130 million capital land bought, Cyiw Garden 420 million, Ingtai Mansion sold at 76.5 million, Sea Breeze at 53.8 million. You can see, yeah, 420, and then of course we have many more, Katong Mall, 290 million, and then we have 225 million, and we have Paramount Hotel 214 million, Katong Mall 290 million, Clementi Mall 540 million. And of course, the one I mentioned earlier on, the 28 units, 128 million. And these are over $13 billion in sales and deals, especially in en bloc. So I know to most of you are saying, hey, it sounds unbelievable, and what's in it for me? And the reason why I know this is because it's not like that for me personally. Yeah, this is my sales transaction. It is my experience and expertise in the market, which is the reason why I'm breaking it down for you guys so that you can take on your journey yourself. Okay, if you want to go on your own after this workshop, and you can discover, because this is what people don't know about me in my own personal journey. I was born in a kampong. I was a HDB girl. So people thought, hey, Stella, you must be have a golden egg, already when you're born, a golden spoon, golden whatever, silver spoon. However, I was born in a kampong. How many of you have stayed in a kampong before? Say yes if you have, okay? Let me know who you are, okay? So I was actually staying in a kampong. My grandmother brought up all the children, and each family has a room. So there are four of us. Yeah, with my siblings, there are four of us. With my parents, we all stay in one bedroom, and each family will have their own bedroom. And as the government developed the area, they shifted us out. We are actually in one of the last few kampong Tai Seng. And my family moved to a 3-room flat, rental flat. Yeah, in Circuit Road, before we finally moved into a 4-room flat, yeah, in Sims Avenue when my father bought one. And this is my humble beginning. What really changes me was that pivotal moment of my life was when I decided that I wanted to be a businesswoman at 15 years old. I said, I want to wear a square hat. I want to be a businesswoman. And fortunately for me, and unfortunately for me, I couldn't get into business because my grades was not great. And I ended up in a faculty called real estate. That's the fortunate part. Yeah. And of course, I wear the square hat. I didn't become a businesswoman. I became a real estate expert. Yeah, at that point in time, I became a valuer first. I started my foundational real estate, and then I began my journey in investment sales, etc. And I became a head of department for investment sales. That's why I specialize in en bloc. That is also the reason why I figured out that is one of the best investments possible. So when I had no money when I begin, this is what I truly want to tell you guys. You don't need to have the money. The result is having the money later on. Yeah. And I started with no money. And when I graduated in 1998, there was a crisis. Remember what happened I graduated in 1997, and my pay was $1,400. $1,400, write that down. Yeah. And my ex-boyfriend and me, we actually queue for HDB flat. How many of you have been told by your family to buy your HDB flat quickly when you want to settle down? How many of you have this advice? I was told the same. However, in 1997, when I graduated, I was already queuing for HDB flat earlier on because we are in real estate. So we know that the queue is very long. It takes me about 5 years to get my flat. Okay. And by the time I calculated, every quarter increased by 28,000, 30,000. By the time we get our flat will be about 280,000. Okay, 5 years later. So, and it's HDB, and I have an MOP period of 5 years. Nowadays, even 10 years, if you choose the plus, yeah, and prime. So what happened was I went against the norm. In 1998, there was a crisis. Who knows what happened in 1998? Anyone knows what happened in 1998? How many of you know what happened in 1998? Anyone know? In 1998, what happened? Major crisis in the world, Asia. There was a financial crisis, Asian financial crisis. Awesome, Audrey. Yeah. So what happened was I took advantage of that. Yeah. And I entered into a private property, freehold, 400,000. 4-story walk-up apartment. And of course, I rented it out about $1,500 per month because I wasn't going to stay there yet. Yeah, I wasn't going to get married traditionally yet. So I took advantage of my paycheck. Okay. Understand that the most common reason that people end up with doing nothing about real estate is because they will say, I'll wait till I have the money. Then I start investing in real estate, which was not the case. Because if I had used that as my reason, I would never have gotten started. So understand that that's not a reason. Okay. You know, the biggest advantage you have right now, if you are working for someone, your employee, you can leverage. If you're young, you can leverage. The banks, in fact, sees you. Right now, the bank don't see me because they see me as high risk, having not a stable income because I'm an entrepreneur. However, you know what? Bank loves predictability, stability, and that's how I got started in this journey. Yeah. So how many of you agree that there are a lot of successful people out there that you read about and hear about today that at one point in time they had no money? What was the difference? What was the difference that gave them the result? What do you think was the reason? Some people say gut. Some people say courage. Some people say mindset. Yeah, everything. So not having money is the result. What we need to work on are all the symptoms that cause you not to have the money. And ultimately, we will not have an income problem with a skill set issue, isn't it? Because if you have the right skill set, the skill set will be able to help you generate the money. And that's what this training is all about. So saying that rich people do this, yeah, I wasn't born rich. Yeah. And I made my first pot of gold because I entered early in life. I entered when I was in my 20s, early 20s. I have a couple of questions for you guys. Do you have an exit strategy in life? Are you stuck in the daily grind of work, having no time or even money to retire? Yeah. And the question is, what if you make that hundreds or millions dollars mistake in real estate? I remember when I was in the MNC, my country head actually told me this in my early 20s. He said, Stella, your sustainable income should come from your job, your paycheck. Your investment income should come from your property. So he's a Caucasian Westerner. He invested in Singapore, name it, GCB, apartment, commercial, he owns plenty. Why? Because of course the wife is Singaporean, I can buy GCB in her name. So it is about leverage, position yourself. The question is, do you know which are the rotten eggs in your basket? So many people say, okay, I will just rely, I will follow what other people doing. And I remember one of my seniors in real estate, she said that she doesn't invest in real estate because during the Asian financial crisis, exactly, a lot of the seniors lose money. That's because they do not understand what are the right property investment. So my job tonight is to let you know that you want to have the skill set. You want to know what is the knowledge skill set to rely upon to to identify, negotiate, and close right properties for investment. Because ultimately, real estate is $1 million investment right now, especially in Singapore. Yeah, it's no longer a 6-digit, it's likely a 7-digit in most cases if you're in the private market. So you want to be able to be equipped with the knowledge so that you can choose the right properties and have the money to retire. Do you have the money to retire? The question is. And how to retire? Retire when? Now, based on the latest this mortality rate, my insurance company, in the past, men live to be about 78 years old, women 82. Based on the latest table, women live to 88 years old, and men 82. So we live longer, and with medical advancements right now, you could potentially live longer and longer and longer. So the question is, what if you're not planned for your retirement? What if you did not design good enough cash flow to take you through good retirement? Yeah, good retirement means you can still travel around the world, enjoy the perks of life, right? And not, struggle. And how many of you work for corporate here? Anyone work for corporate right now? Or ever work for a corporate? Say yes. How many of you agree that there were moments in life, in time, when the work is over and you can legally go? You feel bad to go because you're the first to go. Are you one of those? I was when I was in my job. Because I work from 8:30 to 5:30 official hours. I need to be in the office because my staff are in the office, and I only leave after my night meeting at 10, 11 o'clock because I need to meet the owners at night for en bloc. In the day, I do investment deals. In the night, I do en bloc deals. Yeah. Of course, investment deals also include landed and many other properties, shop houses and things like that. So I was actually stuck in my job. Even though I was helping people make millions, I had no time for my children. How many of you are parents here? Say yes, if you're a parent. Just be proud of you as a parent. I lose time with my children in their growing up years. Even though, I was making a decent income, I was building wealth through real estate, but I had no time for myself. I had no time for my children. I was a Chichida mommy, Kuma mommy, Julia Gabriel mommy. And the only time I can spend time with them is when I take holidays at the end of the year to travel around the world with them and to spend time with my parents-in-law. This is what Singaporeans' life is all about, right? You work the entire year and then you take holidays in June or December so that you have time for your children, your family, because you're dead tired Monday to Sunday, every day. Yeah. And you lose time. And that was the pivotal moment of my change of my life also when I decided to leave corporate. Because one day I actually had a call from a business associate, business. And in my team, there is this gentleman. I was a head of department. There was this senior manager in my team. He's 2 years older than me. He's 38 years old. I was 36 years old. One day, a call came. On the other side of the phone, Stella, Derek has passed on. I was shocked. Because one, he's only 2 years older than me. He's more sporty than me. He's a national badminton player. He just finished his master's. He went to a client, better life, better job, better pay, fixed hours. And he's just going to start on another master. He says he doesn't have children, so he has time on his side. But he had no chance to leave. He was found dead next to his car at the petrol kiosk station. Guess what was the cause of death? I really hope to awaken you guys also. What do you think is the cause of death? In most cases, what are such cause of death? Go ahead, type in the chat so that I know you're with me and not distracted. Heart attack. Yeah, one of the common ones. Heart attack. In his case, for the first time in my life, I heard this. Cause of death, exhaustion. That shocked me and that changed the way I look at life. I want to live and I want to have time on my side. So I left corporate. I went into fulfilling my dream to become a business owner. And here I am, sharing this with you guys so that you have time on your side. So this is where we're going to look into different types of property investment and then how can you identify which are the investment types that you want to go for and how do you choose it, okay? This is a new launch. This lady, Hui Fen, she bought this project. Like many people who buy new launches, she was hoping to make money at TOP. Exactly. She was hoping to make money at TOP. And she bought this project called Skyline Resident. And unfortunately, at TOP, there were a lot of balance units. The developer relaunched at 15% discount. What it means is she bought a property thinking that at the TOP she will make money, like what most people look at on new launches. She made a loss. Like recently, latest in the market was many of the Sentosa properties. They were actually relaunched at a big discount so that developers can clear the units. So if you are one of those owners who bought Sentosa at the peak, and today their balance units are sold at much cheaper level, technically your property actually will be in a loss. Yeah, paper loss if you still live in it. Yeah. So the question is, what are the other opportunities? So let's look at, besides new launch in the market, we also have resale. Okay, of course, based on resale, you can see that on the cycle of the last 30 years, it has almost always, I say almost, because there was deep down before, is on the upside. On the long term, medium to long term, is always up. Only for a short few years, it went down. In fact, when it went down, it went up again very fast. Yeah, so it went higher and higher and higher. So this is the resale market. What if, I'm going to tell you, yeah, there is a better way than these two. And en bloc is the golden egg in resale property. Why do I say so? If you look at these properties, these prices, you will see that on the long-term cycle, all resale properties, a majority of resale property goes up in value, right? Properties all go up. As long as the market is on the upside, it will go up. So if you own an en bloc property, this is a misconception. If you own a en bloc property, it is also a resale property. So over the years, if you keep, it will still be on the upside. Okay. I have someone who bought a property in close to Orchard Road, and he bought it at 900,000. Maybe 15, 20 years ago, 900,000. Today is worth $5 million. It is an unblockable property, but the owners are not interested in unblock because of the location. Today, even if they don't do unblock, it also went up to $5 million. And if they ever want to sell the site because it has unblock potential, there is an intrinsic value on this property. Why not choose a resale property with an unblock potential and discover how to find that one resale property with unblock potential with at least 30% upside or more. And I can tell you this, if it's only 20%, most of the time I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't invest. And this is the little known secret of property investment that very few people understand. They think it will not happen. And perhaps the developer also don't want you to know because they want to buy that property, that site. So even if you're starting out and it sounds scary to you, just understand that it is a resale property. If you're in the market buying a secondary market property, we call it resale, it is the same, except that there is an additional upside if you understand how to identify the upside. So even if you have no money to begin, you can begin by selecting those with potential, okay? By understanding how to do it. Even if you think you need a lot of capital to begin, the truth is like any other resale property, you're paying the same value as any property that you're searching in the market. And even if you think it's complicated, let me share with you. I'm going to break it down in the webinar workshop that it is simple and easy. And as long as you can find the gap, this is where you can make good monies that other people don't know. So this is for you if you want to tap on the property cycle and you want to leverage on capital gains over a long-term period in resale property. At the same time, discover which are the ones with en bloc potential with at least 30% upside and enter it so that, you can begin your journey. Okay, this is the journey of how I got started in the investment journey, property investment journey. And this is exactly how you can model it so that you can retire early, retire by choice. Yeah. So this is the journey that I went on. I started with a 4-story walk-up. In fact, it is unblockable because I know how to calculate. So after You learn from me, you also know how to calculate. Yeah. So we calculate it and we realized there's a potential. I bought it as 400,000. And I knew that in the short term, it can go for 700 over 1,000. The truth of the story is this. I did not exit at 700 over 1,000 because I found an even better deal at View Towers. So I exited with profit. Remember, hear that now? I exited with profit and gave some balance to the owners so that somebody will still buy it, they will still gain, so that I can actually enter for the next Airview. And I went on to many others, commercial as well, and landed eventually also. Yeah, by understanding how to use my 3 secret, I'm going to break it down for you tonight. And in fact, the truth of the matter is whether it is Ocean Apartment or whether it's Airview Towers, even if some people are afraid that what if it doesn't happen, abroad doesn't happen, right? Even if I've kept till today, it will be easily worth for Airview Towers millions, maybe the unblocked value then was $3 million, easily 5 million and above, or 6 million, because of the intrinsic value of the land. And even for Ocean Apartment, it'll be well worth $2 million today. More than, yeah. So this is secret number 1. Why en bloc properties are the gold mine property investments in Singapore, and how to identify, negotiate, and close that property so that you can actually, sleep in peace, because you are buying, it has an additional intrinsic value on top of just knowing that if market goes up, everything goes up. Okay, so when you understand how to identify, negotiate, and close, these are 3 important skills that is important for en bloc properties. And let's start with identify. Okay, how many of you want to be able to acquire the skill set of identifying good deals? How many of you want that? In fact, most Singaporeans don't know how to do it. Most agents also don't know how to do it. So if you're an agent in this call, I welcome you, because I love to share this information. In fact, I'm the only one in the market teaching en bloc properties, okay, and giving out knowledge on this. Great. I'm seeing the me. Okay, good. So it first begins of looking at the master plan, which is already all very transparent right now. You can search for almost every single thing in the master plan. So the master plan right now, it used to be formed by DGPs and then 33 concept plans, okay, and formed into right now several regions, the East region, Central region, West region. Are you seeing my screen, right? Okay, you guys must tell me whether you're seeing the screen, okay? Yeah, and of course, the North region, Northeast region, West region. And the government actually has planned on where do they move. The very first one they started was East region, when they decentralized back-end office to the East region by having business parks. Of course, then they work on the West region to decentralize many of the government agencies to the West. And right now, Central region, they are working on the residential kind of space, and the port is shifted to the west, and of course, North region right now on the Woodlands area as well. And also in the Northeast region is where the IT park is. Okay, so these are being planned. We still have a lot of time to go on that planning. It is next year, the master plan will be reviewed in 2025, because it was last looked at in 2019. So identify also means that we look at prices of new sales, prices of resale price. Why do we need to do that? Because we want to know that there is if there's a gap between the new sales price and the resale price, and if there's a good gap for the plot of land that you're looking at, chances are there is an en bloc potential. So I'm going to show you how and what I use to determine en bloc potential. And this is exactly what developers and valuers use. Okay, this table that you're seeing here. Like just I mentioned, I'm also a licensed valuer, so this is exactly what I do. I know this looks complicated. Yeah, I'm going to show you at the end of the workshop, I'm going to show you what we now use to simplify how to shortlist these properties. Okay, so don't worry if you think it's very complicated. Don't worry about it. I have a simple way of allowing you to get there. Okay, so very simply, let's look at price, identify a price. How do you know whether there's a price gap? If the property value of the entire plot of land for M block is 480 million. Okay, this is exactly one case that we studied. The per square feet on the existing strata floor area, all the owners' units, is 1970. And if another existing unit is putting out in our market, his resale value is 1350. Okay, based on comparison of the potential en bloc and the current selling price of that unit in the development, the premium is 40% if it's 1350. And this is how the table brings you there. Yeah, the calculator brings you there to identify whether there's a price gap. So first, master plan, which is all transparent. You can easily search. I'm going to share with you how to search on it. Number two is to see whether there's a price gap. All right. So this is number two. And finally, I'm going to show you some of these examples, case studies. These are actual deals that went in the market. Okay. 392 million for Mayor Park. What does it mean for you? It means for the owners, they're taking away 2,700 per square feet on their unit. And if they were to sell their unit in the market, it ranges around 1,003 to 1,005 in the open market. So with the en bloc value, they are actually getting more than 50% for all the units from right now 2.5 to 4 million. They're getting $5 to $7 million. I like you guys to think about it. How long does it take for you to earn $2 million? However, you can use your property to accumulate these $2 million multiple times. Multiple. Yeah, that's why Singapore has one of the highest number of millionaires in the world, because we know how to do properties. Okay, so let's look at another one. So Eurasia is done at 222 million. So similarly, on the per square feet, the owners are getting 1,008 on the units. Whereas if they were to sell on their own, they're getting $1,000. So straight away, you know there's minimum is surely more than 30% premium. In fact, for many of these units, they are going by times, multiple times, because they could have bought this unit for 600,000 in the past. Yeah, they could have bought it for 800,000. So the premium is way above 30%. Then of course we have Park Balnet Court at 115 million, Park View at 260, Chuan Park at 890, and this Lakeview at 273. Okay. Of course, then you have this 172 million. Okay. Let me share with you this story. I was also doing this Ming Arcade many years ago, about 20 years ago. That time the value was about 120 million. Yet there was an owner who owned substantial share. He wasn't willing to participate. So the en bloc was called off. The owners in fact, if I didn't remember wrongly, except for this one transaction, all the owners kept the unit. And most of the units were not leased out because it wasn't a well-kept building. They either use for their own use or leave it vacant for storage whatsoever, or take very low rental. However, they bought very cheap at that point in time when they bought it. So fully paid everything. And today they are multiplying the asset value because inflation, because en bloc value. They sold at $172 million. 120 to 172 million, just over a few years, it just escalate in this level. Your pay cannot catch up with asset value. Yeah, that's a fact, right? So this is what happened. 20 over years, they were not interested to do the en bloc. Now they do an en bloc. They all walk away with happy faces because right now it's 4,004 per square feet versus $900 per square feet for many of them. Yeah. So this is the power of en bloc. As long as there is intrinsic value, even if you keep, you don't sell en bloc, this price also go up. And then we have Tanglin Shopping Center, 868 million. I know these are very big numbers, so I get it, 200 over million, 392 million, all this. And I understand this because this is exactly when I first started, it wasn't like this. Yeah. So even for teen, this is not how she started. You see, she recently, because of having this skill set to identify, negotiate, and close, she bought a property in 2024, March, recent. She's not the only one. And we have a few of our students who already bought, many of them. And every week we are still seeing ongoing because they know how to identify. They are searching for good deals. That's why I say right now there's one guy who found a property that has really awesome value. We are looking at that also. So she bought this. Let's listen to what she has to say.
I must say that it is true that this property is like 300,000 under value. It is first is freehold, second is undervalued already. Just by purchasing, I already make a profit in fact. And it's not a easy buy because it is not like a straight purchase. They have been the one that's guiding me throughout these few days. And it's an opportunity that I shouldn't miss. I wouldn't have looked at that place if not from Stella and Daniel. Looking forward to it being able to go through the envelope a few years later.
Okay, this asset, when she bought it, the market calling rate was $2 million. It's in District 9. It's freehold. She bought at 1.675, way below the asking price, like 300,000 below market value. On top of that, this has a 800 to $1 million en bloc value, okay, the intrinsic value, because you can calculate right away. So yeah, she's now a happy girl. Yeah, it's just newly renovated. She just leased it out. Yeah, this is the investment property.
I must say,
so when I first started, I get it, all the big numbers whatsoever. When I first started, I also started small. It wasn't a mall that I bought. It wasn't hotel. It wasn't industrial. It wasn't prime area. It wasn't prime real estate. It wasn't Orchard Road. This was my first deal. I started with what I have. I bought a 4th-story walkout apartment. It wasn't even 1st story, 2nd, 3rd floor. It was 4th story. Most people don't like it. Yeah, I started that way because I know I have to get started with something. And I followed the complete opposite of what traditional advice was to buy HDB flat. I bought this and I bought it at 400,000. I put down a down payment of 40K. Eventually, the selling price was 580, even though the en bloc price was 700,000 thereabout. Then I decided to sell. I made a profit. The cash on cash return was 77%. That's that. For a 20 over years old to make from fresh grad from school to make 180,000 within, I think, less than 2 years. Right? Not bad, right? Is it good? And it's freehold. Versus if I had to buy 99 years, 280, I'll be locked for MOP period. The reason why I exited was because I found another en bloc property based on calculation. I bought at 900,000. Okay, this is how you move on, flip and sell to the next property. So you start with somewhere first if you are starting out. In fact, one of my students, he's starting out, he's a PR, he has a lot of cash to pay because of all the taxes. Yeah, he's just decided, just begin the first one first, because that's when you can duplicate, you can maximize your value, hedge against inflation, and then flip and sell. So we bought 2 units, each at 900,000. I want you guys to make a guess. How much was the en bloc value? Make a guess. Remember I said minimum 30% upside. If it's $1 million, what is that 30% upside you should get? Anyone has a calculator that can quickly calculate? If it's $1 million, it's 300,000, right? So how much you think I sold this for en bloc? Any guess? Don't want to make guess? Let me share with you. The en bloc value was $3 million. How much was that? How much increase was that? How much increase is that? Okay, easy, well worth above 40%, right? Okay, more than 50%, in fact. Yeah, this is how powerful it is if you know how to identify, negotiate, and close. Notice this, when I bought the first property, you realize it's not prime estate. Or at the same time, it wasn't like those modern one have swimming pool whatsoever. Nothing of that. Why? Because this is where I know I can achieve the most value ever to make good margins. Yeah. And even when we went to Airview Towers, it's not the pretty, condominium. It also has no facilities. It was cheap. Maintenance was cheap. However, it also gave me the biggest bandwidth in terms of returns. Decent profits, right? 3 times. Where can you find? Okay. Of course, my total investment to learn all this is millions of dollars investing and years of figuring out myself, which is why I decided to dissect it so that I could actually pass on this information. How many of you, if you could go back in time and you could be like me, buy the ocean apartment at 400,000 and put down 40K down payment, you will do it now? Say yes if that's you. Say yes if that's you. Yeah, because I want you to look beyond this. Yeah, say yes if that's you, really. Because if you're not saying yes, you're not interested. Okay, awesome. I'm saying yes now. So what does that mean for you? Okay, because means right now, right, there are also other deals in the market like ocean apartments. And the right question is, are you equipped with the right skill set to identify what are these, to be able to negotiate and close? Yeah, because my students out there are hunting for all these assets. When most people say, hey, this is not the way to do it, I can't do it, there's no way I can do this. And this is a story of Mrs. Tan, not her real name. I'm going to just be very real with you guys. He's not her real name. Why? Because she started with a 3-room flat, that time matrimonial home, and she began her journey. She's a typical middle class. And the reason why I put Mrs. Tan is because we need to protect her privacy. The real reason is I don't want you to know her true name because she's a civil servant. You know what it means, right, for you guys? However, she's the person who ultimately broke out of the cycle. She made use of her paycheck. She followed the game plan. She upgraded to a maisonette because her family was growing. In fact, the first property she bought, she said she will live there for the rest of her life. But she moved on, bought a maisonette, and eventually today she's staying in a penthouse unit. And in the east, top floor is as if it is a penthouse unit because there is only one unit on the top floor and no one shares the lift. She's like private lift access. And there is a golden egg for her right now. So what does that mean for you, tell you and me? First lesson, for all of us here today is that I want you to know that you don't have a money problem. The money is the result. The symptom is that you want to equip with the right skill set. So the priority right now is to do whatever it takes to equip yourself with the right skill set. Because with the right skill set, you will be able to identify, negotiate, and close properties after properties. And personally, for me, I don't believe in fishing for you. I believe in giving you the fish. I believe in helping you to learn how to fish yourself so that you can repeat and rinse. Secret number 1. Why the unblocked properties are the gold mine properties and how to identify, negotiate, and close. And you can continue doing this for yourself. In fact, in the market, there are serial unblockers. Yeah, serial, not and serious unblockers who repeat and do it. And of course, right now, what's in the market is people are saying, hey, there's not much en bloc deals in the market. En bloc is not the way to do. Okay, first thing first, en bloc is a resale property. If you're into investment property, investing property, and you're buying your own residential property, you want to identify a resale property already, right? And you want to identify that the one with extra intrinsic value, which is unblockable, so that you have a story to sell. Okay, you can even exit at en bloc, reap the difference. So it is the ability to identify and negotiate these deals. All right. So secret number 2, when we own this property, we want to figure out how to restructure, reposition, and reconfigure it to earn positive cash flow that not only pays off your installment, but also start generating monthly passive income while you wait for this golden egg to hatch. So how do we do that? I'm going to share with you a lot of ways to do this. So first thing first, you want to understand, if you are doing for cash flow, you want to understand what is the rental yield in the market for rental of properties, like a residential. Residential in the market, put on ROT. I like you guys to write ROT inside the chat. Put down ROT. Or give me a thumbs up. ROT means rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means, okay, average. Rule of thumb, what the valuers out there are using to value properties, institutional in the market. For residential, it's 3%. Rental. Rental is actually a formula of rental times 12 months over sales price. In Singapore, the reason why we only have about 3% or less for residential is because our sales price is high. If your rental is relatively stable, as the sales price goes up, your rental comes down. So, which is the reason why freehold property surely has a lower yield as compared with leasehold. Okay, leasehold, because why? The lease decay. As the lease goes by, the lease drop. So you get lesser buyer in the market for your leasehold property. As such, even if when the rental is fixed, right, your sales price come down, your yield should go up. It's the same for any types of property. If you're buying a short-term lease, you must make sure the yield makes sense. Okay. And then for commercial is usually 4 to 5%. Why? Because it's also very stabilized. There are very few transactions in the market. There are also very few stocks in the market, which is why they can also trend up quite high. And then we have industrial 6%. Why? Industrial REIT, the return is about 5 to 6%. So that's like a rough, I'm blocking you guys. That's a rough indication of where it is in terms of industrial average. However, I know some of you guys say I bought industrial 8, 9%, 10%. That's also possible if the lease is short. Because why? If you're on a shorter lease, 30 years, then your rental is flat. Of course, you should get higher yield. So don't be misled by yield high. You must understand that it goes with the leasehold as well. Okay? So the question is this, I like for you to really ponder on this. Which unit do you think has more potential, the left or the right? Over here. I want you to see these two images. On the left side is this property, which is old and ugly, needs a new paint job, looks horrible. On the right-hand side is this pristine swimming pool, beautiful landscaping, new launch. Okay? Which one do you choose? Tell me truthfully, from first instant, which one do you choose? Be honest. At first glance, most people will likely choose the pristine unit with swimming pool from the developer. Well, it looks nice, and there's nothing broken. They're thinking about the swimming pool view, the landscaping, the BBQ. They're thinking about all these things that not necessarily add value to the rental yield or cash flows. You know what that also means? It also means that you are paying full retail price, just like every other investor out there. Okay, there's no bandwidth for you over there. Yes, nice, it's pristine. You already pay full retail price because the developer has to make money. It makes sense. They have to make money. They took the risk. They make the money. However, a seasoned investor will do this. They'll look at what are some of the things that he can add value to the old apartment. Whether the property has the most width to play with when it comes to increasing the rental, when it comes to increasing even the value of the property. Whether there's an intrinsic value to this land that the property sits on. Whereas most investors are just looking out, who are just starting out, will never even look at this. They will not look at all these old apartment because truthfully, this is what differentiates a good investor versus a mom and pop investor who just buy directly from developer. No need to think so hard, just buy from developer. Okay, and this is this is exactly the strategy that I use to utilize this property on. Okay, on the left hand side, you're seeing this old property, and on the right hand side is after we reposition, reconfigure, and it became like a brand new unit, beautiful unit. So if you look on the left side of the picture, you can tell, right? It is not luxurious. It is old. It is, in most cases, people walk in there and say, "Hey, it's horrible looking." Yeah, you know, I wouldn't even want to buy. It's scary. Yeah, I don't look at it this way. First of all, when I look at this property, I'm going to see if there's any way I can restructure it. Can I reposition it? Can I reconfigure it? You see, from this example, right? Yeah, the fact that the first look is not pleasant, to me, that's when I see, hey, I can add value. I can add value to it. And when I look at such property, I don't want to look at the visible. I want to look at the invisible, the potential. Is there a potential on the land? How's the structure like? The plumbing, the wiring, the renovation, all the things that are potentially invisible to most people. Whereas most people, of course, look at the facility, got swimming pool or not, got BBQ pit or not, or gym or not. Whereas I look at all these invisible things, whether I can potentially reconfigure, repurpose, and restructure it to increase the value of the rental. So initially, it was actually on the left picture is actually leased at $3,000, right down $3,000. Okay, and when I used the strategy, it actually increased the rent to close to $10,000 on the right side. Okay, with this strategy, when I walk in with a quick calculation, I know it's taking me about 85,000 to thereabout to reconfigure, restructure it, and reposition it. However, within the first year, within the first 9 months, I took back all my investment on renovation. So how many of you agree that in a time like this, 100% in 9 months yield is a pretty good yield, return on your renovation? If you agree with me, say yes. Yeah, you take back all your money, and after that, it's all profit. And that only happens if you know how to reconfigure, restructure, and reposition the property to a brand new unit. Yeah, and that's secret number 2.
And I found it is very practical, especially about the recalibration of the floor plans. The most important thing is that they have been there, done that. They are not a textbook master.
So Jason, he's a property agent. He came to the class. And first thing first, he figured out the first secret, how to identify, negotiate, and close. And this actually blew him away in terms of how to increase the value of the property. Yeah, by restructuring, repositioning, and using this floor calibration, floor plan calibration. Yeah, and this is he's a property agent today. He's out there hunting for his clients, hunting for himself. So this is where, as a property investor, you don't want to invest based on pure emotions. You want to invest with logic, with reasoning, with calculation, and to see whether you can add value. And can you see that when you have this additional skill set, you can even become a better investor? Even if right now you're type 2, you already own a portfolio, you can even become a better investor because you know how to increase cash flow on what you own. Who wants to have this skill set to increase the cash flow and the value of your portfolio, whether it's 1, whether it's 2, whether it's 3? Yeah, tell me you want it lah. If not, you don't have it, ma.
And I found it is
Okay, so secret number 3 is what the ultra wealthy does to multiply and maximize rental units without having to pay additional buyer stamp duties, utilizing our proven replicable strategy, having others fund this investment. So right now with the ABSD is actually the cost of acquiring has increased. So you want to think out the box how to invest in real estate. The truth is you can only continue building up your portfolio if you figure out the way to do it. Yeah, if not, you start at 1. Yeah, buy 1, maximum buy at 2 with a couple, right? So you want to figure out how to leverage with your family, with your friends. And that's how we got started in our journey with Cyiw and many others. We leverage on our age. We leverage on the paychecks. We made money. We went on to buy Katong Mall as well, which was en bloc, and many, many others. And And for those property, what if it's not unblockable? I'm going to show you one particular one that we actually came across, non-unblockable. Okay. In honesty, over these 30 years of investing in this journey, using this strategy, we have not made a single cent of loss because of the know-how. So this is a Katong Mall that we went on is commercial, and we also make good money within a very short time frame. Then sometimes is when people are impatient, they want to exit for the en bloc because they don't want to wait out for the en bloc anymore. And that's when they will drop value. Like right now, the market is that some people are saying, hey, not much en bloc happening. Then which means for an investor like you and me, we want to be ready to buy all these properties that has en bloc potential. Because those owners who wait there, the en bloc didn't happen, they want to exit, take money. That's when you can buy at values. Yeah, buy at value price. Okay, below market value. Okay, and this is River Walk. This is an example of a property that did not go on en bloc. What happened was we went there, we understand the en bloc whole structure, legality, and even profile. And we knew that it was not going to go for en bloc anytime soon. Today, it's still sitting there. It's called the River Walk, Clarke Quay. If you know Jumbo Restaurant, that's where it is. After we figured it's not going to happen, we exited. And we exited with profit. That's the truth of thing because you know the numbers, you know how to exit. And of course, then we went on repeat and rinse, continue many times, and repeat and rinse all these opportunities. And we even do the reconfigure, restructure, and reposition into landed. So if your dream is to own a landed one day, this is where you can also grow with a community of like-minded people to, potentially do en bloc together, potentially do landed together. And this strategy that I'm talking about, which has the cash flow, which is the rental, if you're putting it up for a lease, and the capital gains. Okay, these are for some of you who are investor, you get the best of both worlds. You get the capital gains, and on top of that, you get the cash flow. On top of that, there's an intrinsic value. On top of that, if you are buying for your own stay, you're someone who's buying for your own stay, this is your first, and you're going to live in it. You know that you can sleep in peace because this property will increase in value every day. You can sleep with a smile every night when you know there's an en bloc potential on it. Yeah. So besides knowing that, in a time to come, the value will increase. Yeah. And also en bloc, you can even have the intrinsic value. I think you will not frown in your seat. You'll probably smile all the way, right? Agree? Yes. So it's really about modeling what the rich are doing. Flip and sell, collect rent, sell for capital gains, collect rent, so on and so forth. And in this case, even with intrinsic value of en bloc. Modeling what the rich are doing, and on top of that, because you know how to identify the resale property with en bloc potential, that's the upside that other people don't know how to.
I must say that
So, of course, leveraging with your family, your children, with their age, with your resources, hanging out with a like-minded community so that you learn all the mistakes, avoid the mistakes, learn from them, really leverage on opportunities, share opportunities as well. This is what we have in the Private Legacy Investor Club, when we hang out together and do things together. So, and this legacy mindset that I'm talking about, right, is not just like what common people say, I buy properties, then I pass it on to inheritance for my children. The truth is, you send it for inheritance to your children, chances are they're going to sell everything, split the money, and that's it. What we're talking about legacy growth here is your mindset legacy growth. If you're able to do it as a family unit, with the extended family, leveraging your family, your children, you can leverage on age, you can leverage on resources to acquire more properties together. And you can cultivate and this mindset within the family, not just in terms of this, but also unify them to create generation wealth. And how many of you agree that it's already very expensive for you to buy properties? Yeah? Wouldn't it be more expensive for your children? The gap is getting bigger and bigger. What if you found the strategy, you create this legacy mindset in your children, and you can do it as a family? So even on the strategy of value adding, right? Restructure, reconfigure, reposition. It can also be used in other types of property. So we're not just purely talking about residential property. It can be used in not residential apartment alone. It can also be used in landed property, shop houses, commercial, so on and so forth. So legacy growth, one very good example is Cyiw Gardens. Cyiw Garden is an association. They originally owned Cyiw Garden land, the land for Cyiw Garden. They built into Cyiw Garden, and then they decided to do en bloc sales. Because why? There's intrinsic value. So the Cyiw Association made a lot of money through this. On top of that, a lot of their association members also own units, and they also reap the difference. When the property was built into urban suites, right, behind Center Point, urban suites, the association also bought substantial share, and many of the owners also bought. So this is a legacy passed on that never dies. So I like you guys to really start thinking of how can you design your life differently going forward.
My intention is to learn how to get an unblockable apartment. I have learned the various technique and the calculation and how to identify whether they are unblockable or not. So it's really meeting my requirement.
When Madam Fong came for the class, she doesn't even know how to download the app. And after the training, she's like so excited. She's 85 years old, and she can do it herself. So if she can do it, so can you. And she's able to say, now she's saying that she's able to identify, negotiate, and close this. And the strategies are things that she can use. She's probably going to work with her grandchildren instead of her children, because all her children may already own a lot of stuff, right? So now that we have come, yeah, let's hear from Morgan first.
I think one of the biggest takeaways that I got was that you can win in multiple ways for unblock. So it's not just about hoping you get unblocked. You can actually win from just the entry price and then sell in the open market later on, or you can use it for your cash flow. So I'm 18 years old this year, and I think a lot of young people my age can get a lot out of this course.
So Morgan actually signed up to learn this at 18 years old. Imagine your 18-year-old son figuring out how to enter property early in life. And that's when he can actually build a good future for himself. And he already shared, you can figure out how to find the unblock opportunities, how to exit even if there's no unblock, and even build cash flow along this journey. He gave you all the tips there.
I think one of the
He took away from the 3 secrets. Secret number 1, why unblock properties are to go my property, and how to restructure, reconfigure the property to earn positive cash flow that not only pays your installment, but also potentially give you monthly passive income, and what the ultra wealthy does to multiply and maximize rental units without having to pay additional buyer stamp duties. Now, so with your permission, now that we have come almost to the end of the webinar, would it be okay for me to share the system that has helped me take care of my family, pay the bills, send my daughter for overseas education, and enjoy the thrills of life, stuff like that? Yeah, is it okay? Say yes if it's all right for you, so that you can decide, because I have full-fledged of training and coaching. And because we're looking for people, partners, to do en bloc together. How many of you here, with your permission, would love for me to share with you so that we can explore how we can work together? Yeah? Okay. Thank you for saying yes. So the first thing that you're going to get, this is my family. I have 3 children, a mother of 3. And my son, when we were in and we were in Antarctica for a full month last year. And the previous year, we were in Japan for 21 days. And when this left Oppa, I call him my Oppa, like my Korean boy. He told me in Japan that he wants to own 100 over properties all over the world in future. That itself is an encouragement for me, because I must have done something right. Why? Because the children, he said he wants to be out of the rat race. He wants to have that possibility in their life. It already get him motivated in life. And my daughter, when she first landed in Perth, right, one of the first things she said was, let's look at investment in Perth, because looks like there is shortage of student lodging. And if she buys, and if she's able to buy, she can actually create passive income early in life. This is the kind of mindset I hope I can actually pass it on to your children if you're a parent, so that they can get started ahead in life, having the right mindset. Yeah. And so I have actually a 2 days, a master class. It's a property wealth legacy master class. It's a 2 days class in person for me to drill down the strategies. We only have 90 minutes to an hour here. I can't go in depth with different strategies. So this is a 2 days class. It's not a sales pitch. You are really going in depth in learning. This is actually a training workshop. It is not me talking, telling you what's the market, where is it going, and things like that. It's not all those, okay? It is actually a 2 days masterclass whereby you will identify, negotiate, and choose the property with potential upside of at least 30% the day you buy it. So we're going to do this together. And this is for those of you here who are new to property investment, who don't have the knowledge, you have little cash, okay? And potentially for those of you who are even, upgrading from HDB, maybe already middle age with little cash, even little knowledge, and you want to own property to start your investment journey so that you can position yourself for life, for retirement. Or you are looking to expand your portfolio. You already own some good properties. You're not sure which are good, which are not so good. You want to look at your customized journey, and you want to increase your portfolio so that you can pass it on to your children, so that you can create retirement funds and exit strategy in life. This is where I want to pause. I have a few students who came to my class. They are single. They say, Stella, I'm single. What is in it for me? I'm not going to stay here. I don't want to pass it on. The thing is, like just I mentioned, right, the age of mortality age has increased. So you want to protect yourself such that you can provide yourself till old age, so that you can still travel around the world and enjoy life. And if you own these properties, you build up your cash flow, you can have a good retirement. And the most is when you're gone, you pass it to your next of kin, your niece, nephew, if not to charity. Put it into a legacy for yourself. Yeah, so this is for if you're thinking, hey, I can't do this. I have a student who came and her husband is retiring. She's a homemaker. And she said, Stella, I just want to buy a second property, split our, put our names out and then buy 2 properties so that we can retire comfortably, collect some rent. After coming to the master class, she discovered that she got 4 more properties she can buy if she leverage and use the resources that she have. So this is the power that few people will explore, or they understand how to explore for even a greater, journey for themselves. So these are real case studies that can help you to build on your wealth as well as build legacy for your future generation and potentially to pass it on. So it is actually a 2 days masterclass. We are talking about value at 12,000. To be honest with you, 2 days masterclass, if you find that one property with 30% upside, 1 million is 300,000. These days, any property is easily $2 million. That's 600,000. So the value is way worth over $12,000. And it's 2 days live immersive. So it's not like here, I'm talking to you guys. In the masterclass, next time I should play a video. They are doing the work. They are actually doing the work. We are under my guidance to study the master plan, to choose a property, and then figure out what the information, where to search the information, how to input into the calculator, and then how to see the price gap. Remember, identify the master plan. Identify means also the price. Then if you found that, and then choose the right, whether there's properties for sale, negotiate and close. Okay, how to negotiate and close, what are the things that you look out for. Okay, and we really handhold you. This you can see from all these pictures, these are real master classes. One of our latest also, they actually work on the project together as a team, as a community. Yeah, and we show you step by step, move by move as well.
I must say that it is true that this property is like 300,000 under value.
If all it is give you the 300,000 upside the day you buy it. We're not talking about pray and hope, or when I sell, I make the difference. It's the day you buy, you know you're going to make money. Okay, that's the kind of certainty we have.
Character help us to speed up and getting the information that we want.
The coaches, right, Stella and Daniel, they have actually gone through step by step, help us to identify what are good potential units to look at. it's such a useful knowledge that's not available anywhere else, and allow us to be motivated to start on our journey.
So Siti and her partner, she came to the master class not knowing everything, and then they are in the midst of selling their HDB flat because they want to position themselves ready for the market. They are like ordinary Singaporeans, not rich Singaporeans. They are beginning a journey because now they have the skill set and know-how and the expertise on in terms of the various skill sets we're talking about. So what else do you need? Remember this? The left side was 3,000, the right side was close to 10,000. The skill set to reconfigure, restructure, and reposition. Remember Jason, he was talking about recalibration plan. This is where we're going to take you through and guide you how to design the property to increase the cash flow accordingly. From 3,000 to almost 10,000 is about $7,000 difference per month, which means that each year you have increased cash flow of $72,000. We are only valuing at 5,000. Yeah. This is Stanley and wife. They recently bought a en bloc property for their matrimonial home. Yeah, they want to buy a property, live in it because they need bigger space. They found one. And then this property not only is their matrimonial home, they're renovating it. They also know that when it's en bloc, there is an upside of 30% or more. And even if it's not en bloc yet, they will happily stay in the District 9 freehold property, which has a potential upside by itself, even without the en bloc. So they know there's an upside on the property. At the same time, there's also an upside on the en bloc value. So Jen and her family, with her extending on resources, using other people's resources, as a family, they got into this property, also 30% upside. Yeah, they also bought around close to $2 million property with a 30% upside thereabouts. So some of you say, hey, Stella, I'm not sure where I am. I need a journey on. This is a customized property wealth roadmap. Property is not a one-size-fits-all, and it is not a get-rich-fast solution. So we want to guide you. For every one of you is different. This is my property roadmap where I begin my journey, and I went on to more en blocs. Some with en bloc potential, don't have en bloc, we exited. We bought commercial as well. We bought commercial properties as well for rebuild, and we bought landed as well. So there are many ways to extend your roadmap creation as long as you begin the journey. So this is a roadmap creation that will take you on, and it's a customized journey so that we can guide you and especially do it with you guys. Okay, we're going to do all this together. So what else? You figure, hey, what else is needed? Okay, May. Okay, after attending our masterclass, she is a professional, never invested in real estate, love to buy stocks and shares only, an expert in that, but she has this jittery thing of investing in real estate. After attending our masterclass, within 90 days, she invested in her first investment property, 1.8 million property. They have never bought anything before, except for their matrimonial home. And within 6 months, she bought a third property, overseas property for retirement. So they are ready with investment property and ready for retirement. So they have covered all rounds. And this is the roadmap that we're talking about, when we can actually walk you through the various ways to invest, create consistent income stream. And for those of you who want to create enterprise, you have companies, you want to see how you can use cash flow for purchase of more properties, this is where you can also extend it further. So Casey and Kelly, they recently bought an investment property, and that is also unblockable above 30%. As we speak today, they are choosing another property, and this time around is a commercial unblockable property because they now know the skill set. So they are actively searching for their investment properties on top of the 2 residential property. So now she bought one investment property. They are going into another matrimonial home, potentially with en bloc, and looking at a commercial property with en bloc potential. So this is the roadmap they can create for themselves and their family. Because And of course, some of you say, hey, I need more hand holding. What else? We have this secret list of en bloc properties. When you come to a masterclass, you're going to get another list. This is a fully, not it's not exhaustive, but it's a very thick list of properties that you can potentially select the property with 30% upside the day you buy it. This will shorten your learning curve. Because as a community, we're going to do the calculation together to see, how you can select the properties. Okay, I know some of you are going to say, hey, is it easy? Can I do it? And it sounds like complicated. Just now I saw this very serious, complicated list. You remember this one? Okay, this is exactly what we use for developers, use for valuation. However, for the sake of layman, we now have created a simple calculator like this. All you need to understand is know how to identify through the master plan when we put in the numbers, where to search all this information, and how do we then look at identifying the pricing, what are the numbers that we look at, what are the important elements in the search that we require for. And when you put into the calculator, you will get if there's an en bloc value. So in this case, there's a 40% upside in terms of the en bloc. So this is the first of its kind, the only one in the market. Just like putting in the numbers, you can easily identify that one property. You see, some of the apps out there tell you potential, but they don't tell you how much exactly really or not. They just give you probability. This is where you know by numbers, mathematics. Ultimately, it is a math, okay? So this is a secret calculator. We only just value it at $5,000. So now, you're the result of the top 5 people you hang out with, right? You know that, right? You've heard of that before. So this is the community of people who have done it before. They're going to share with you their pitfalls. They are going to share with you opportunities. After all, if they found things, they have used up their tool residential, they may pass it on to you. And that's when you can leverage on the community to share deals together, or to even work on collaborate together, and also to get their guidance, to share information on. So this is my bonus for you, the PWL Investor Club. We're growing this investor club, and these are like-minded people who are in this investment journey. So you will be able to get support from the group of people. And all these well worth 47,000. So if all this did was just get you empowered to find one property with 30% upside. We've actually done a calculation before. If you found that one property with a potential upside of 30% or more the day you buy it, you can potentially retire with just one property. Even if this is your one and only matrimonial home, you're going to live in it and that's it. By the time you retire, you could potentially sell it and retire very comfortably. So I have an 80-year-old gentleman. Yeah, he bought this property. We started this a long time ago. He bought this at this orchard property at 900,000. Today it's worth $5 million. Okay. If he retires now in his 80s, he said, I sell the $5 million, I buy a $1 million property. He still have $4 million to travel around the world, feed himself luxurious food for the rest of his life. This is the power of finding that one right property, which has higher intrinsic value than just a typical one which you just flip and sell with value. So we want 2 levels. One, resale property, we know it will increase by value. 2, we know there's an additional intrinsic value because of the land value and the land price and land. So that's when you can actually even stack up your return. Okay. What if you design it such that it also creates a cash flow for retirement? So imagine, just now that one was from 3,000 to 10,000. And if you still live in it and you still collect the rental when you live in it, wouldn't it be great? You got cash flow. Or even if you just lease it out, yeah, you will have a lot more cash flow. So it's double side gains or triple side gain. What if it helps you build the legacy? Once you attended this, you bring your children, you bring your family, and they figure it out with you, then you can repeat and rinse with your family. And that's when you can leverage age and resources, other people's money. I have two choices. One is to really go as slow as possible so I can reach many people, or I can go for higher investment, and which allows me to focus more time on a few people. However, you can see that it's a good deal at 47,000. We are not even asking for $10,000. For those of you who stay until now of the webinar, I'm just really going to give it all away. It's not even $10,000, not even $3,000. It's just probably covering some of our costs of running the event. We're subsidizing it, yeah, only for 999 if you take action now through this workshop. So if you're going to invest in 1 million, $3 million, what is 999? To invest in the knowledge, skill set, and expertise that you can repeat and rinse yourself. And it's not just purely on just buying the en bloc property. It's also about knowing how to increase the rental, how to recalibrate your floor plans. In fact, during this masterclass, I'm going to share with you what is it for you, okay? In day one, we're going deep dive into en bloc, the legality, all the concerns that you should look out for in en bloc property so that you know you're in a good space. On top of that, we're going in for what else? The co-living. Remember co-living, you heard of this word before? We're going to guide you on co-living. On top of that, we are going to show you how to recalibrate floor plans so that you can increase cash flow. And we have a co-trainer who's a developer. For those of you who are aspiring one day to become a developer, he's there to guide you onto the ways to recalibrate and increase cash flow, as well as potentially work on development. How do you choose land for redevelopment? How do you increase even cash flow, the value of the asset? And that's that value. He also has about 30 years of experience in that area. And we are bringing him as a co-trainer so that you give you even more value when you design your roadmap. Okay? So how many of you want to take action? Yeah, to have the true freedom of life. And I know a lot of you have stayed until now. Before you go, I want to give you more bonuses, okay? For the first 7 people who take action, fast action bonuses, fast action taker, you're going to be able to bring a partner. Okay, I'm going to pay for the ticket of your partner. Why? Because real estate investing is usually you need to decide with husband and wife if you're a couple. And if you have children, I love for you to bring your kids because your children can learn the skill set and do it for themselves later on in life, or do it with you. And this is where, in our past masterclass, we have families who came, the father buy ticket for the wife, the bonus, then buy ticket for the children to come. Why? Because they know it is having the mindset, the skill set to actually do it as a family. So last masterclass, we have one father who bought for his wife and 2 children. We have and they are like 16, 19, and 20. Then we also have children who come at 12 years old. We also have children who came at 16 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old. I have this gentleman who bought tickets for his parents and his sister so that they're single, so they can do it together as a family. And how many of your parents, just like us, right? How about equipping them with the skills set early in life? Do you want to protect your children? The way to protect is to give them the ability to survive. Yeah, so that you can potentially do this with your children. Okay, so only 999 for today, if you stay until now. Yeah, my team has dropped the link. So if you are keen, you can click in the link and join us. If you have any questions, go ahead and post in the chat below. So this is the bonus that we're talking about. And this is a 2 days masterclass to recap. You also have a cash flow domination action plan where you can design the rental, how to recalibrate floor plan, how to design a roadmap in your property investing. Because ultimately, this is not going to be your one property. You're probably going to repeat and rinse your journey. So you want to figure out what's the plan for you in the next 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. And you also have this secret list of property that you can keep with you so that you can continue investing, searching, the calculator to use, and a community of people that you can hang out with. All worth 47,000, and just for today, you can get it at 999 only. Okay. I always ask people this question. If not now, then when? You're going to lose time because of your age, right? And that's when you lose the ability to leverage. And the number one mistake is a lot of people say, hey, I learned this, I think I can do it myself. What if you can get that kind of qualified training so that with 999 you get the training so that you can avoid painful mistakes. You can avoid painful mistake with right community and support with the right training. And besides, you're going to invest in millions of dollars, right? Why not, join a masterclass, shorten your learning curve by 10 to 15 years of the time instead of figuring out on your own. Yeah. So the question is, really, what is your mindset? Money is ultimately just a resource. And if you don't invest, you're probably in the same space. So I'm going to bring you to the page on the web. When you click in the link, this is what you will see. So you want to go put in your name. Yeah, you can open the page together with me. Okay, open now. Then click in, create your infinitewealth.com oblique now. Open as a new tab. Then you key your name, contact number, and go to step 2. And I have a special code for you because you'll see that if someone walks in here, they're going to pay 999. For those of you who come for the masterclass, you're getting it at 999. If not, it's 3,999. So you key in special under the coupon code special, apply, and straight away I give you a $3,000 off. Okay. So go ahead and take action. Yeah, if you're keen to make a difference for yourself and your family. Okay, this is Ocean Apartment. We actually literally make returns of 77% cash on cash. We're talking about cash on cash only. Airview Towers easily more than 200%. Katong Mall more than 100% because of the time frame and also the quantum. And for 336 River Valley, 28 owners took home more than 200%. Of course, some people even more in multiple times because of based on when they buy it. Okay. So at the end of the day, I like you to question yourself whether what's cost versus value. 999 perhaps can't even pay for a ticket to Australia, Perth. Thereabout, yeah, of course, in December. Can't even pay for your Japan tickets unless there's promotion, of course. But what if you can? Instead of putting it as an expense, put it as an investment to create a new future for yourself. Okay, so this is what I have for you guys. You want to see any questions for me? Okay, there's still quite a few of you here. Audrey, any question for me? Okay, let me see Q&A. Any questions? Sometimes there's a Q&A questions. Okay, let me know. Any questions? So the masterclass will be in November. For those of you who's asking that question, it'll be in November. So you can plan your leave right now. But anyway, it's on the weekend, so you can plan out your timing. It'll be in November. So you just have to click in this link and put in the coupon code. Okay. Any other questions? Let me see. Looks like no questions. Yeah. Okay. So if you sign, okay, I'm going to give you, I'm just going to give the last round. Okay. For those of you who already stay until the end, yeah, I didn't forget the M-Block process and guide, the free gift. You will get this. It's different from the one that you're coming from the masterclass. The one, if you stay until the end of the webinar, you're going to get this M-Block guide and process. We will email to you within 48 hours. Okay, so be patient, wait for our team to send it to you. And for those of you who are coming for the masterclass, you get a separate list, which is the secret list of properties. Okay, so for those of you who are still thinking about it, okay, I'm just going to give you one last bonus. For any one of you who sign up at the end of this webinar, okay, you can bring a partner. Okay, that's my gift for you. All right, you can bring a partner. That's my bonus gift for you. All right. Okay. So quickly take action before you call it a day. Okay, just open the link at the side. so they can take action. All right. Okay, no, if no further question, Audrey, Joyce, Chun, a few of you, any questions, further questions? Yeah, if not, I'm going to close the webinar shortly. Make sure you open the link, and if you want to take action shortly, make sure you do it before, yeah, we close the webinar, we change the back end. All right. Okay, bye for tonight. I look forward to seeing you at the masterclass. Welcome, Audrey. Let me know if you are signing up. Okay, nobody ring. You, even as a team member, you can participate one eh. It's very difficult for me when nobody
很
talk.
奇怪嘞，我 team
不会
member
不会，我去Eric 封的，是他的 team 在那边讲话的，他 repeat exactly what I say, exactly Eric 封，他就 type yes，他们这样 type 的。你要讲的，要 engage 的 ，is a different energy。你懂他们 TikTok shop 来，TikTok shop，他们做 TikTok shop 的时候，他们的那些为什么旁边会有这么多人在旁边喊的？for energy，他们这边9.9，哇，好便宜啊，然后嘛这样的，is the same concept。你不可以完全 disappear 了，
我没有完全 disappear，那完全 disappear。
你要 participate 啦。
有啊，
前面呢，after that 你就失踪，我叫很多次了。你刚才 drop the link also you took so long to drop the link。
那个就我马上就 drop 了，你还没有讲我就 drop 了，I drop already。
我没有看到你说我没有 shout 叫你 drop。
有啊，
我叫几次很多次你都没有声音，我就没有叫了。
嗯，
对啦，no difference 啊。OK，拜拜。
奇怪，很少人的呢，
根本都没有人，不要讲很少人。
哦，25个，
先拜几
3个进来，一个8点半就走了去，
Audrey 下的，
嗯。
嗯，OK，拜。